exercise in utter frustration. That is how a federal judge described the Trump administration's refusal to provide information on the ongoing efforts to facilitate the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. It's been 43 days since Judge Paula Zinnes ordered the administration to return the mistakenly deported Maryland man home from El Salvador, and 37 days since the Supreme Court ruled that the administration must work to bring him back. But in a hearing yesterday, the judge slammed the government, saying its efforts to comply with the order were inadequate and that the government did not explain why answering even basic questions on the case would be considered protected under state secrets privilege as it claims. The judge argued, quote, "There is simply no detail. This is basically take my word for it." And last night, the judge released her order giving the administration 1 week to provide further evidence to support the State Department's assertions of the state secrets privilege. In the Trump administration's ongoing battle with the courts and the rule of law, the take my word for it approach seems to be a common theme. Ala Vitale and Kimberly Atkins-Storr are back with us. Kimberly, I think you're the only attorney at the table right now.
Yes, I will wear that proudly.
So I would love your reaction to Judge Zinnes, but also this take it for, what was it? Was it take it from me?
Yeah.
Right? Take my word for it. Take my word for it. Is that a legal strategy?
It is not. And what I am seeing from this, state secrets has entered the chat. This seems like someone at DOJ is going through a book and saying, what possible defense? Okay, what have we done yet? Let's try state secrets. I mean, they seem to be throwing anything at the wall and seeing if it will stick in an effort to obstruct the orders from district court judges writ large. What I'm concerned about beyond the safety of Mr. Abrego Garcia at this point is the fact that when it comes to trial court judges specifically, the administration seems to just be saying, we don't have to do what you say. Mm-hmm. You don't stop us, which is in itself part of the constitutional crisis, right? The executive is supposed to abide by the judiciary. But I think the increasingly lack of patience on the part of judges like Judge Zinnes, on the part of the justices of the U.S. Supreme Court, which just last night slapped the administration again, saying, we said what we said, stop deporting people without process, we're not going to say it again, is really building up to a point that you're going to get a showdown, and I'm expecting at least contempt hearings to start soon.
So now that's my question, because I keep seeing the red line being moved over and over and over again, right? At the beginning, the judges were like, you have to bring them back now. And then it was like effectuate, and they were trying to figure out the words. And what does effectuate actually mean? Right. And now, we're the exact same kind of thing is happening. Like, I'm getting pissed at some point. You're going to have to do it. Is that them building evidence that the White House is and the administration isn't doing what they're saying? Or are they just kicking the can down the road over and over and over again?
I think what is happening are federal judges would be very, very wary to go to the point of contempt with the administration. They know how important that is, but that doesn't mean they won't do it. They have in the past. One thing that I think is the big elephant in the room here is once you start with contempt hearings and contempt orders, then you quickly have to move to the issue of immunity. Remember, the Supreme Court gave Donald Trump immunity. And then very quickly, they'll have to decide the issue of how far does that immunity extend? Is it just for Trump himself, or does it also include other members of the administration helping to carry out this under his orders, under his authority? And I think that's something that the Supreme Court probably does not want to take on right now, but I think they're going to have to, because at some point the judges will have to start drawing that line and having some consequences for the administration when they continue to step over it.
So you bring up this idea of like that scenario that we've never been here historically. When you are on the Hill, what are you hearing specifically when they're saying, wait a second, he keeps, to Eugene's point, moving the goalposts. He's not abiding by the judges. He's not abiding by our congressional power. What does that front line look like?
There's some really fascinating dynamics here. Look, we know that Democrats are saying, and I'm sure Jamie Raskin later in the show will say this too, as someone who used to, I think, teach constitutional law.
Yes, exactly.
He's a scholar.
During the January 6th committee hearings, when I would ask him to help me parse through what these things meant. But look, Democrats have that consistent line of saying we are in a constitutional crisis, or if they're not there yet, they're right up on that wall. But for Republicans, I think, again, this is the difference between the public and private conversations, right? Publicly, no one wants to be seen as bucking the administration. Privately, there are concerns, and even publicly, you've got some of the former prosecutors, former attorneys general on the Hill, who are now senators, saying, well, we've got an appeals process for a reason, and we do listen to the courts in this country. And I think it's important for all of us to think and talk about the ways that Republicans during the Biden administration, because it's not new that an administration would try a policy idea, get it sent to the courts, get it blocked, have to reconfigure and try again. Republicans during the Biden administration were celebrating the courts as a bulwark at that point. And so the shoe is on the other foot now, and it's a reminder that I think all of us need to continue to remember as we go through these precedent-setting moments that, the shoe will be on the other foot again at some point, and then Republicans and Democrats alike will have to deal with how they dealt with these situations.
Can I switch gears for a moment? Because there is what I would like to think is a pseudo-controversy involving the former FBI director, James Comey, and the shells photo that he took, 8647, and now you've got people screaming at the tops of their lungs that, do we have that? Yeah, there it is. And you've got people saying that, he's threatening the president's life. Let's play element 4. This is the president's reaction to that post that the president gave Fox News yesterday.
He knew exactly what that meant. A child knows what that meant. If you're the FBI director and you don't know what that meant assassination. And it says it loud and clear. Now, he wasn't very competent, but he was competent enough to know what that meant.
Okay, seriously. Come on, this is the man who pardoned January 6th rioters who beat up and hurt, maimed law enforcement officials. So I'm not downplaying whatever concerns he might have about what that meant. But Kimberly, come on now.
Yeah, so I don't think any reasonable person would take that post to mean that the former FBI director is calling for the assassination of the president. That is just not real. On the other hand, Comey is a former FBI director. He's now a private citizen. He's walking on the beat. Look, if you want to snap a picture and send it to your family, your wife, really, he should. I mean, it's really improper for a former official to be doing something like
correct.
that.
Yes.
And it's also stupid, given that you know that this administration is all about vengeance. It's all about settling scores. And James Comey should know that he would be among the top of the list of people, if given a chance, the administration would go after. So he should go off as a private citizen, enjoy his life, walk on the beach, and stay out of the chat.
But here's the thing that I don't know anyone actually knows or has good. Guess who has a book coming out on May 20th?
Yeah.
And not just me. Not just me.
You're Sheriff Update.
Yes, Sheriff Update. Yes, James Comey, me, Barry Diller, Chasten Buttigieg, and those guys over at the other place.
Alex Thompson and Jake Tapper. Don't you do up my boy like that.
Okay. But James Comey's book is called FDR Drive. Miraculously, we're talking about James Comey when we haven't been talking about James Comey for months.
Yeah, it's the most cynical reason that one could think of for this to raise its head right now. I will say, you look in the landscape, I have to agree with you. Put it in the group chat. Don't be putting it on social media. That being said, this administration finally has the reason that it's wanted to investigate James Comey. They didn't need a reason when it was Miles Taylor and Chris Krebs, right? Those investigations, at least in theory, at least they think they might be under federal investigation. For what? It's not actually clear. But I think this is the reminder. Like, you just need to give them a little bit of the reason, regardless of the fact that everyone from, I believe, Matt Gaetz to Gretchen Whitmer has used this phrase 86 in terms of we should take out political opponents, but not take out. I mean, like, everyone's talking about defeating the person that they're trying to run against. I mean, like, that's the basics of electoral politics.
People gone to diners lately? I mean, 86 a chicken salad.
Exactly.
Not chicken salad. Not chicken. Kim Atkins store.
In defense of
Thank
chicken salad.
you. Kimberly, thank you, Alan. You're sticking around.